Learn to act unbothered. Why do the calmest people always seem like the most powerful in the room? You know who I'm talking about. The ones who don't flinch under pressure, who stay quiet when others get loud, who walk away with a smile while everyone else is busy proving a point. There's something magnetic about that kind of energy. Something that whispers, "I'm not moved by your chaos." Meanwhile, most people today are living in constant reaction mode. One text ruins their day. One comment online throws them into a spiral. One wrong look, and they're ready to explode. We've become a generation trained to respond instantly to everything. And in that speed, we've lost our power. So let me ask you this. Are you tired of giving your peace away to things that don't even matter in the long run? Are you tired of being emotionally hijacked by people who don't deserve that kind of control over your state of mind? If so, you're not alone. And you're not weak, you're just untrained. Here's what most people don't realize. Calmness isn't a natural talent. It's a skill, a weapon, a decision, a lifestyle. And when you learn how to carry that stillness inside you, when you train yourself to act as if nothing bothers you, you become untouchable in a world that's always trying to shake you. The Bible says, "A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back." Proverbs 29:11. That's not just spiritual advice, that's tactical life wisdom. The wise man doesn't let everyone see his every emotion. He holds it. He chooses what to release, when, and why. And in doing that, he earns peace, respect, and control. Now let's be clear, learning to act unbothered doesn't mean you're emotionless. It doesn't mean you're pretending nothing ever gets to you. It means you've mastered the art of not letting every small thing pull you out of character. It means you've become so centered that chaos no longer gets a reaction, only a response, if it even deserves one. And that's what this video is about. By the end of this journey, you'll learn how to master your emotional reactions, protect your energy in a reactive world, move with peace, power, and quiet confidence. This is Final Era Unlocked. And today, you're going to unlock one of the most powerful mindsets in existence. Act as if nothing bothers you. Let's get into it. 1. The power of self-control. Let's talk about control. Not control over others, not manipulation, not domination. I'm talking about something far rarer. Control over yourself, your reactions, your energy, your emotions. Because the truth is this. Most people are slaves to their emotions. Someone disrespects them, they react. Someone ignores them, they chase. Someone triggers them, they explode. And just like that, they hand over their power. But here's the truth that will change everything for you. The person who stays calm holds the most power. Why? Because calmness is control, and control is influence. In any room, in any conflict, the person who isn't reacting emotionally becomes the anchor, the one others start to follow. The Bible puts it like this: better a patient person than a warrior, one with self-control than one who takes a city. Proverbs 16:32. Pause and think about that. God is literally saying, you could conquer a city, but if you can't conquer yourself, you've already lost. See, we live in a world where anger is glorified, where being loud is mistaken for being strong. But real strength, the kind that lasts, doesn't scream. It doesn't prove itself every second. It just is. Think of the strongest people you know. Maybe someone in your life, maybe a leader you admire. They don't overreact. They don't try to win every argument. They don't get baited into foolishness. Instead, they choose silence when silence is loud enough. They choose to pause when others are spiraling. They choose peace, not because they're weak, but because they're wise. And here's what's crazy. The moment you stop reacting emotionally, you begin to see clearly. You realize that 90% of the things that trigger you aren't even worth your breath. That fight, not worth it. That petty comment, let it fade. That ego battle, walk away. Because when you know your value, you no longer feel the need to prove it. That's what emotional mastery does. It makes you unfazed, not because you're numb, but because you're focused. Focused on peace, on purpose, on power, and you start to notice something strange happen. The less you react, the more they respect you. The less you explain, the more they wonder. The less you chase, the more they watch. You become unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. Self-control isn't about bottling things up. It's about channeling your energy with precision, because your energy is your currency. And every time you react emotionally to nonsense, you're spending it on something that won't bring a return. So if you really want to act like nothing bothers you, it starts here. Decide that nothing is worth losing your inner peace. Not their drama, not their ego, not your pride. When you can stay calm in the middle of the storm, that's when you know you've already won. 2. Fake it till you feel it. The psychology. Let's get one thing straight. Acting unbothered isn't pretending, it's practicing. You've probably heard the phrase, fake it till you make it. But when it comes to staying calm, you don't just fake it until you make it. You fake it until you become it. Here's why this works. Your brain is constantly taking notes from your body. If you act like someone who's peaceful, detached, and unfazed, eventually your nervous system starts believing it. You walk slower, you breathe deeper, your voice lowers, your reactions soften, and your whole presence shifts. This isn't deception, it's transformation, because what you repeatedly do becomes who you are. The Bible puts it beautifully. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. Transformation doesn't come from feeling different. It comes from thinking different, from training your inner world until your outer world starts to align. So how do you do it? When someone says something disrespectful, instead of snapping back, pause, stay silent, breathe. When things don't go your way, instead of spiraling, smile slightly, speak gently, keep moving. When people try to test your patience, instead of giving them your reaction, give them your stillness. At first, it might feel fake. You'll feel the heat rising, the emotion building, but you override it with poise. And every time you do that, your mind starts rewiring. You're teaching yourself, this doesn't control me anymore. I control me. This is emotional strength. This is mental resilience. And it's not something you're born with. It's something you build. Think about great athletes. They train under pressure so they don't panic on the field. Think about soldiers. They rehearse calmness in chaos. Even spiritual leaders. They discipline the soul before the battle even starts. You don't wait for the storm to arrive to build the shelter. You build it every single day in the small moments by choosing stillness when chaos tries to pull you in. And over time, you don't have to fake it anymore. That calm, it's real now. That unbothered energy, it lives in you. That emotional detachment, it's become your baseline. You've trained your system to stop giving free access to anything and anyone that doesn't deserve it. So the next time someone asks, "How are you so calm all the time?" smile and tell them the truth. It wasn't always like this, but I practiced until it became me. 3. The art of silent dominance. There's a kind of power that doesn't raise its voice. It doesn't argue. It doesn't prove. It doesn't announce its presence. It just is. That's the power of silent dominance. And once you understand it, you'll never waste energy trying to be loud again. We live in a world where everyone wants to be seen, Everyone's talking, everyone's performing. People post their every thought, defend every opinion, and explain themselves to everyone, even to those who aren't listening. But the ones who move in real power, they know the secret. Silence speaks louder than noise. There's a reason the most respected people in the room often say the least. When they walk in, they don't need to prove anything. Because silence, when paired with presence, becomes a message in itself. I know who I am. I don't need to convince you. The Bible backs this up with deep wisdom. Even a fool is thought wise if he keeps silent, and discerning if he holds his tongue. Proverbs 17:28. Think about that. Even if you don't know what to say, if you remain silent, you're seen as wise. That's how powerful your restraint can be. Now let me be clear. Silence isn't passive. It's not weakness. It's not fear. It's precision. It's strategy. It's discipline. There's strength in choosing not to respond to disrespect. There's dominance in walking away from a petty argument without saying a word. There's confidence in sitting with discomfort, without rushing to fix or defend. And the truth is, silence makes people uncomfortable because it leaves space. It creates mystery. They can't read you. They don't know where you stand. And in that uncertainty, you gain control. Remember, people expect reaction. Silence disrupts expectation. You take away their power to influence you. And at the same time, you build your own. You don't have to flex your intelligence. You don't have to clap back at every insult. You don't have to post your every move online. Your stillness is your sword. Your silence is your shield. Because when you stop broadcasting your emotions, your plans, your thoughts, you become unpredictable. And unpredictable people are powerful. So here's the shift. From noise to presence, from reaction to intention, from needing to be heard to choosing when to speak and when not to. That's not just emotional control, that's silent dominance. And in today's loud, reactive world, that's the kind of energy that stands out. Master that, and you won't just look unbothered, you'll be unshakable. 4. Train your nervous system. Body beats mind. Here's the truth no one talks about. You can't think your way into being calm. You have to train for it. Because unbothered energy isn't just mental, it's physical. Your nervous system is the foundation of your reactions. It's where anxiety lives. It's where fight or flight kicks in. It's where emotional overreactions are born, long before you even open your mouth. So if you want to act like nothing bothers you, you've got to train your body to stay calm when the world is anything but. Think of your nervous system like a muscle. The more you expose it to peace, the more it learns to default there. The more you stretch its limits, the more resilient it becomes. And it starts with one key discipline: stillness. The Bible says, "Be still and know that I am God." Psalm 46:10. That's not just poetry, that's a command. In stillness, you regain clarity. In stillness, you reconnect to God, to your values, to your inner strength. In stillness, the noise of the world fades, and you finally hear what matters. So how do you train stillness into your life? Here's what works. Morning silence. Before you grab your phone or speak to anyone, sit in silence. Breathe, think, listen. Give your soul a head start. Cold showers. Why? Because they teach you how to stay calm in discomfort. You learn to control your breath under pressure. And that skill transfers to everything. Breath work plus deep breathing. This literally rewires your nervous system. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Do that for 2 minutes. Your whole state shifts. Prayer. Not just talking, listening. Use prayer to hand over what you can't control. Let God carry what's too heavy for your heart. Movement. Go for walks, stretch, lift, move. The body holds tension. You have to release it intentionally. These aren't just wellness trends. They're warfare tactics for your soul. Because the battles you're facing, the disrespect, the chaos, the uncertainty, they all hit your body first. And if your body's already trained to remain still, you'll glide through storms others drown in. Here's the bigger point. You don't rise to the level of your mindset. You fall to the level of your nervous system. So build it strong. Teach it stillness. Surround it with structure, silence, and sacred space. And soon, you won't just act unbothered. You'll feel unshakably calm, even when the world's on fire. 5. Daily scenarios. How to respond like a master. It's one thing to talk about peace. It's another thing to live it, when life gets messy. So let's break it down. Let's walk through the real moments, the ones that test you. Here's how to respond like a master, even when your old self wants to snap. Scenario 1. Someone disrespects you in public. Old reaction, you defend yourself. You raise your voice. You check them on the spot. New response, you pause, you breathe, you smile. If it's minor, you say nothing. If it's serious, you respond once, with calm clarity, and walk away. Why? Because the one who stays composed in public earns private respect. And often, their disrespect reveals more about them than it ever could about you. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Proverbs 15:1. Scenario 2. You get a triggering text. Old reaction. You respond immediately. Emotionally. You explain. You argue. New response. You don't reply. At least not right away. You wait until the emotion fades, and then you decide, does this even deserve my energy? And most of the time, it doesn't. Remember, silence is a response, a powerful one. Scenario 3. Someone cuts you off. Traffic is wild. Old reaction. You yell, you speed up, you stew on it for 30 minutes. New response. You smile. Literally. Force yourself to smile. Because in that moment you realize, I won't let a stranger I'll never see again control my inner world. That's emotional maturity in action. Scenario 4. You're left out, ignored, rejected. Old reaction. You spiral. You wonder what you did wrong. You chase validation. New response. You center yourself. You remember, rejection is redirection. And anyone who overlooks you has simply made space for something better. This is where God's perspective kicks in. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. You don't have to force your place. You just have to protect your peace and let the right doors open in time. Scenario 5. Your emotions are boiling. Old reaction. You explode. You overtalk. You regret it later. New response. You go quiet. You leave the room. You breathe. You don't make decisions when your nervous system is hijacked. Mastery isn't about having no emotions. It's about knowing when not to trust them. Here's your mantra in these moments. My peace is expensive. I won't spend it on nonsense. Every situation gives you two options. React emotionally or respond intentionally. And every time you choose calm, you're not losing. You're winning the war inside. And that's where real dominance begins. Let's bring it home with the final piece. 6. Detachment is your superpower. Here's the truth that changes everything. Detachment is not indifference. It's not cold. It's not emotionless. It's not about not caring. It's about choosing what deserves your care. And in a world that's constantly trying to drag you into chaos, detachment is your superpower. Because the more you detach from what you can't control, other people's opinions, their moods, their projections, the outcomes you hoped for, the more peace you gain and the more power you walk in. Detachment says, I can show up fully, but I don't need everything to go my way.
I can love deeply without losing myself. I can stand firm, even if I stand alone. When you no longer need to be liked, approved, or understood, you're free. When you don't take things personally, you stop bleeding over every sharp word. And when you realize that most things don't require your reaction, you suddenly gain back all the energy you were giving away. That's the glow people notice. That's the calm that makes others wonder. That's the weightless power of someone who's not fighting for attention, because they already know who they are. The Bible puts it beautifully. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. Colossians 3:2. That's detachment in its highest form, not escaping the world, but rising above it. Being in the world, but not ruled by it. Because when you live from the inside out, grounded in truth, centered in God, secure in your identity, nothing out there can shake what's in here. So here's your reminder. You don't have to respond to every challenge. You don't have to carry every emotion. You don't have to prove your worth to anyone. You just have to hold your peace, guard your energy, and walk like someone who's already won, because in many ways, you already have. The unbothered version of you. It's not a mask, it's a mission. And every day you choose stillness over chaos, discipline over impulse, silence over ego. You're unlocking a version of yourself that no storm can touch. So walk forward with calm confidence. Smile when they expect anger. Pause when they want noise. Detach from the drama. And stay rooted in your purpose. You are not here to react. You are here to rise.